What's up, everybody? Astrocatical here. Welcome to the Astrocastrophe. And tonight we are going to be discussing the unidentified flying objects that are now being seen all throughout the world. I don't even know where to begin with this whole unidentified flying object fiasco that's going on right now in the United States. Or it just seems like a pretty hungry news week for the media to be gobbling up all sorts of stories about aliens or, military prototypical experiments that are, hovering over the Canadian border and entering our territory. I don't even know where to begin with that, but I definitely think that it is all a distraction. I think some of this has spawned from the whole balloon incident, or at least opened like the floodgates for that opportunity to be like Biden now trying to look tough and stuff, being that he didn't shoot down like the first balloon. He was like very reluctant, saying like, oh, it could crash into a house or there's explosives on it. And as far as I know, they like recovered like the data transmitter or whatever it was it was like at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, and they said nothing about any sort of explosive device being attached to it. So, they have a litany of excuses for not shooting it down. But of course, we have to believe the narrative, and people have to say things like, oh, well, Donald Trump had 3 balloons in his presidency. And that's something else I might have thought is, maybe they're trying to make it seem like, oh, unidentified objects just come flying into the country all the time. Didn't you notice this? But also, I think that, they're trying to whip people up into the whole UFO scare because, the big thing is, like, I think they're trying to distract from the Twitter files and that hearing that just went on where, you had Yoel Roth on the stand and Vijaya Gotti talking about COVID and how they're, basically hammering out all this information from like Harvard and Stanford graduates and shit, telling you things about the COVID vaccine. And not only that, but the mortality rates are, seemingly beginning to double or triple, and they're trying to suppress anything from being heard or talked about from that. Not to mention the Nord Stream thing and all the false flag attacks that are apparently going to be occurring in Ukraine or Moscow, which, is very telling to say the least. And it's seeming more and more leading into something that's going to distract the American people and empty their pockets into maybe a proxy war or funding more of this vaccine. I definitely don't think that it's something we should really be concerned about. I don't think there's going to be an alien invasion. Of course not. A cylindrical, I can't even say that word, but a cylindrical object that was hovering over Canada. I mean, just because they say it's like a cylindrical object doesn't mean that like it's a spaceship or some prototypical technology from the Pentagon or Area 51. I think that's just the sort of hype that they want to get people surrounding themselves with, which is, also like something I'm noticing with like Elon Musk. He's posting a lot about like spaceships and stuff like that. And he's posting it like really nonstop lately, which makes me think that he's either giving into the hype too or trying to get, people to focus on it. I don't know if Elon's like a plant or anything like that. I somewhat doubt it, but I think he's someone who really does play into the hype and all of that fun stuff. But no, I definitely think that it's pretty much a psyop to, well, not really a psyop. I think it's just an opportunity to take advantage of people at a massive scale. I wouldn't go as far to say that this is like some governmental sort of cloak and dagger sort of operation that's going on that's been in the woodwork for the last 10 or 15 years like MK Ultra. I think it's just literally they see how easily distracted people are by the news and media, and they're taking advantage of it. I don't think it's like a real grand conspiracy when you're dealing with like a populace of people who absolutely believe anything you spoon feed them. I don't think it really takes that much of planning ahead to trick people into thinking that there's like an alien invasion or that the Pentagon or like we retrieved all this technology from China and now we're testing it out ourselves. I really don't think it takes much of a effort to do that. But anyways, there has also been in China. This is an article from let me see here. This is an article from Fox News that I'm going to bring up real quick here if I can get it working. And there we go. China claims unidentified object in its airspace, prepared to shoot it down. Downing of Chinese spy balloon off South Carolina coast has raised tensions between Beijing and Washington. So, Chinese authorities have reportedly spotted an unidentified object flying over the waters near a major naval base and were preparing to shoot it down, according to officials. Maritime authorities in China's eastern Shandong province, is that how you say it? Shandong? Shandong? Okay. Said that they spotted an unidentified flying object in waters near the coastal of Rizio, the state-run Global Times reported Sunday. Other outlets reported that the object was spotted near Qingdao. I cannot say any of these Chinese names, so please forgive me, which is home to the Jingzhanggu Naval Base, a major naval base for the People's Liberation Army. A Marine Development Unit Authority official told the paper another Chinese news outlet that relevant authorities were preparing to shoot down the object. The reported sighting comes days after American fighter jets shot down unidentified objects over Canada and off the Alaskan coast. A week before, the U.S. military shot down a suspected Chinese spy balloon about the size of 3 school buses. Didn't know it was that big, off the coast of South Carolina after it had traversed the continental United States. The Biden administration said the airship was used for surveillance. China claims it was a meteorological research mission. I don't know. You got two governments telling you two different things. Who do you believe in the end? Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer told ABC's This Week on Sunday that the U.S. believes the unidentified objects shot down were balloons, though smaller than the one down over the Atlantic Ocean on February 4th. So this one's like, what, the size of a car? A cylindrical object. There, I think I said it right this time. Schumer said teams were recovering debris from the objects and would work to determine where they came from. The ones down on Friday and Saturday were smaller and flying at lower altitudes of about 40,000 feet, within the airspace occupied by commercial flights, compared with about 60,000 feet for the first one. So this one was significantly lower, not by a whole lot, but yes, it was lower. The bottom line is, until a few months ago, we didn't know about these balloons, Schumer said. It is wild that we didn't know. Now they are learning a lot more, and the military and the intelligences are focused like a laser on the first gathering and accumulating the information, then coming up with a comprehensive analysis. These incidents have led to increased tension between Beijing and Washington. Over the weekend, the Navy and Marine Corps were holding joint exercises in the South China Sea, virtually all of which China claims as its own and strongly objects to military activity by other nations in the contestant waters. The U.S. takes no official position on sovereignty in the South China Sea, but maintains that freedom of navigation and overflight must be preserved. Several times a year, it sends ships sailing past fortified Chinese outposts in the Spratly Islands, prompting furious protests from Beijing. The Associated Press contributed to this report. I just think it's definitely fueling this sort of UFO scare, and you know, you've got maybe these other countries playing into it as well, these other governments as well. Now we got China worrying about UFOs. So if we got other countries worrying about UFOs, oh, guess what? We're going to start worrying about them more too. And we're going to continue distracting ourselves from real life problems. But since they are not real, I'm not going to take them as a objective threat, and neither should anybody else, because we cannot see them. There is no exposure of anything they have done. There are no bodies to be found, at least. There is nothing they have destroyed of ours. There is no virus that we can correlate back to any alien life form. There is nothing other than sightings. that have, you know, significantly decreased ever since we began using cell phones and having recording instruments. Now, why is that? Ever since the age of the cell phone, you stopped hearing about them, you know, but now we're hearing about them again. I think that is about all I can give you for now. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Master Catical. This has been the Astrocatastrophe, and I will see you next time.